final nail in the coffin for Franker Z. This is going towards Wonk for life.
Oh.
That's $25 more, bringing it up to $100.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation. $5 from Peter Direct, who says Franker Z.
Alright, we got 100 for Wonk, 90 for Franker C.
All right, and $5 from David Muntweiler. Go for Franker Z and good work, guys.
That was 5. 95.
All right, that's it.
That's it. Wonk
That's
wins. By $5.
But with $100, we have Wonk is the file name.
Wonk.
W-N-K.
Yeah.
Looks
UNK?
like all of you Franker Z fans got shown up there. You didn't donate to back it up. I'm sorry, guys. Congratulations for the file name of Wonk, though. Thank you all for your donations. Stirred up a lot of competition, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess I'll get started.
Are you gonna do a reset?
No, I'll just start from this. So I guess I'll count down 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
So, oh, I don't have W split. That's funny. I'm not used to this. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, sup everyone. Here for some Ocarina of Time. This is all Medallions. It is a category that was sort of invented recently. It's not a typical Ocarina of Time speedrun category, but I really like it because it's so busted. Like, it's so crazy. Basically, well, I'll just let you see. But in the meantime, we got the intro here, so yeah.
Yeah, I watched you practice this yesterday, and it's really entertaining to just see how broken the game is.
Yeah, I think this run without commentary would be really boring, but because basically you need someone explaining like what the hell's going on, because it gets really confusing. There's going to be a lot of bugs being dropped, figuratively and literally. So, like, I'll be explaining what's going on as we go. So yeah, like I said, this is all Medallions. Basically, the goal is going to be collect all the medallions and beat the game as fast as I can with no restrictions on any glitches. Just go completely wild. And the fastest way to accomplish that goal is really interesting. It's not what you'd expect. You don't have to do a lot of the dungeons, but you do have to do a lot of weird things in the overworld, and you'll be seeing that. I like this category because it pretty much combines all the most broken glitches in the game into like one complete mess. It's really good. My goal for this run will be under 1 hour and 30 minutes. I might be able to do under 120, but we'll see. Alright, so here we go. So, already we're going to be diverging from a typical speedrun here. Instead of going through the normal rupee route, I'm going to be collecting a Deku stick. And the reason for that is it's due to some complicated stuff that's going to happen later. But basically what you need to know is I'm never going to equip my sword as Child Link. Like, I'm never going to equip it, because if I do that, it'll screw up a glitch later on. So already it's getting like kind of complicated. So here's my stick, 10 rupees. And with my stick, I'm going to leave the forest. Peace out. Not collecting the shield and not collecting the sword. So the Lost Woods has a couple ways to leave the forest. None of them are intended. You're supposed to be trapped in the forest until you beat the Deku Tree. But over here, there's a way out. And I'm going to be trying a somewhat risky method of escaping the forest right now. Because if I break the stick accidentally, then I have to go buy another one, and that would be unfortunate. So right now I'm positioning myself perfectly in order to get this to work. Beautiful. Okay, so right there, basically the two polygons come together at a point, and where they come together, if I'm in exactly the right spot, and I jump slash into that corner, the collision detection kind of screws up and it puts me through the wall. And from there I can swim to the loading zone for Zora's River. Usually you're supposed to have the silver scale to do that, which you get later in the game. Although I will be skipping this silver scale entirely. So now I've escaped the forest with my stick. And I'm going to be heading towards Kakariko, because that's where I get the bottle, and the bottle is the most single-handed busted item, maybe in video game history. So, here we go. I'll be attempting to skip the owl. If I don't skip the owl, that's kind of okay, but I may have to wait outside of the castle if I miss this. Oh yeah, that was a bad attempt. So unfortunately, I'll have to talk to my friend the owl here, and I'll have to also wait for the drawbridge later on. But in the meantime, as long as I make it to Kakariko before night, it'll be okay. Because I need it to be daytime in Kakariko in order to get the bottle. It's okay, that this happened, but it does waste a little bit of time. Unfortunately, it wastes more time in this category than in, like, other runs where you just want to go back to the forest right away. Alright, so now I just gotta collect all the chickens. Although, I think I was actually, okay, like, earlier in the river, I kind of rolled into, like, that little post, and also I was a little bit slow leaving Zora's River, so even if I would have got the owl skip, I might have still failed to get to the castle before the drawbridge went up. So, I don't know if it really mattered that I screwed that up or not, because I might have been going a little bit too slow. Anyway, collecting these chickens. This is the fastest bottle to get. The milk bottle is sort of faster, except that you need to have already woken Talon, and that wastes a lot of time. Also, the Rudo bottle is pretty fast as well, but you have to actually show the bottle to King Zora, and that causes the, the cutscene where King Zora scoots over, and that takes forever. And of course the fourth bottle is the Big Po bottle, where you already need a bottle to catch the Big Po's in the first place. So it ends up that this bottle is simply the fastest, and because the bottle is recently able to be used for some newer glitches that were discovered earlier this year, collecting this bottle turns out to be really useful in a lot of different categories now, even though you used to not do this. For example, MST, which is a category that some people might know for this game, used to skip the bottle, but now it gets it in order to do wrong warps. Alright, here's my last chicken. So that's all I needed, and now I can leave. And now I'll be heading to the castle, and this is why the the skipping of the owl would have been useful, because I'm going to have to wait for night. But I can show off some stuff in the meantime. I can skip the owl on the way down, and even though I have to wait for night, it's still faster to do this, because while I talk to the owl, time is not passing. So by targeting this sign right there, and then walking away, the game considers Link to be busy, and that skips the owl talking to me as I'm like leaving the stairs. You can see him up there, his silhouette against the moon, looming. So yeah, gotta chill here for a little bit. Some people don't know this, but if you're standing on this pathway right here, the stall children never spawn. So you can just kind of chill here. And this gives me, I guess, a bit of time to show off some other silly things, like moonwalking in a circle. I was actually the person who discovered this. It's just completely useless, but kind of funny. And then you can do some forward backflips, gainers. It's good stuff. There's another type of gainer you can do against walls. I'll try to do that. Uh-oh. I'm getting attacked. There we go. Now, I was supposed to break my stick earlier against the wall when I was owl skipping, so I'm going to break it now. Because I actually want to have 0 sticks. That's actually important for something later. Also, I suppose I'll take this opportunity to equip the bottle to see right. Equipping the bottle on that slot is important for another glitch later on. Much later. So if I never equipped the bottle to see right, this run would be a dead end and I would be stuck. But because I equipped the bottle to that slot, I'll be able to do a glitch later on. It sounds confusing, but I'll explain it when we get there. Alright. So, I have no business in Castletown. I'm just going straight to Adult Link. And I have to do this without a sword. Some people might know about the Door of Time skip. It is one of the most famous sequence breaks in this game that lets you get the Master Sword without beating the child dungeons. So that was discovered, and then later on it was found you could do it without a sword. And without a sword is really hard. You have to have the perfect angle. But actually, if I backflip like this, roll, hold down, and then tap left, that gives me the perfect angle. And then if I do a side roll, side hop, and then one more frame, this frame. Yeah, okay, so right there, I targeted the side of the Door of Time, which changed, okay, it changed my facing direction so that I could actually coast along the side of the door, and then using that I was able to get through. It took quite a while to discover that.
First time.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so my bottle's on C right, we're going adult, and I never equipped a sword. Those are the 3 key things here.
Shout out to the side rollers.
Yep. Actually, it's interesting, like, there's sort of like been this like metagame development in Ocarina of Time in 2012, where instead of like lining things up manually, you use like the set distances that Link moves, or like rolls or whatever. He like makes you face a certain direction, and that direction is exact every time. So basically, the whole way that setup worked was, even though if I if I tried to line that up normally, I would have had to go into C up and then line up with a specific pixel on the screen. And if the pixel was off by 1, I wouldn't have got through the door. Or I would have got through the door, but I wouldn't have been able to target the side of the door time, so I would have just fallen out of bounds. But fortunately, using this like new metagame stuff, basically, like if you do a backflip, your next roll will always go sideways. And if you do like a side hop, it'll go sideways like slightly differently, but basically, after you do that, Link always faces like a certain direction. And it turns out that in the Temple of Time, if you do a side roll right there, it kind of manipulates the camera a little bit so that the camera kind of like rotates a tiny bit. And then using the camera's slight rotation, it lets you get the perfect angle without having to actually like painstakingly line it up. So that's how that works. This kind of stuff was only recently developed, and it's sort of been taking over the game. Like all these tricks. So it's pretty interesting. Like setups like that are all over this game. There's some pretty complicated ones too, where it involves like multiple side hops, multiple rolls, backflips and stuff. You actually kind of saw a complicated one that I did earlier when I left the forest. What I did was I backflipped, side rolled, like side hop, side rolled, like side hopped, backflip rolled, side hopped, then jump slashed. And then because of all that, it puts Link in the exact right position and facing direction to get the trick to work. So that kind of stuff, yeah. It took a while to discover that stuff. Okay, so this is the first medallion I'm getting, the light medallion. There's going to be something funny involving the light medallion later on in this run. I'm not going to spoil that, but just know that right now I'm 1 out of 6. So now we're becoming adult. Talking to Sheik. In this cutscene, Sheik tells me about the sages and the 6 places, well, 5 places I have to go. I already have the light medallion, but yeah, fire, forest, water, shadow, and spirit. And I only need to go to the fire temple, and you'll see that later, but it's kind of interesting. I will obtain the other medallions through devious glitches. The fire medallion, though, must be acquired by beating the dungeon, although I'll actually beat the dungeon in an interesting way as well, and you'll see some things you might not have seen before in this game. Alright. So, right now you can see that I have bombs equipped to C down. The game always puts bombs on C down when you become adult, because it expects that you already have the bomb bag. And they couldn't use the same C items as child because there's restricted items like the boomerang, which you're never allowed to use as adult. Also right there I save and quit so I could get past the Door of Time, which still exists as adult. It's blocking the way, and adult Link cannot do the same trick that I did to get through the door, so I have to save to get across. Okay, so this might be new to a speedrun. I'm getting damaged on purpose here. Oh, I need one more hit. Alright. So, we're at a half heart, and now I'm heading to Lon Lon Ranch. Most speedruns don't go to Lon Lon Ranch unless they're 100% speedruns, but this one does. In fact, we'll be going to Lon Lon Ranch several times. Alright. Here we are, Lon Lon Ranch. So I'm gonna go ride the horses. And this is where having never equipped a sword matters. And the reason this matters is that what the game does when you're like on a horse is it sets like a backup B button. It needs to know like what your item was before you got on the horse. But because I never properly equipped a sword ever, the value wasn't ever set properly. So when I actually get on this horse and leave the game, I'm going to talk to him on the horse. And I'm going to leave. And that's going to set my button to be blank. So I'm swordless now. I am without a sword. And now we're going to go to Kakariko. Also, if you can't tell, walking backwards is pretty fast in this game. Rolling is better when you don't have to go long distances, but over long distances, backwalking is the way to go. So I'm gonna go get, I'm gonna go start a side quest in Kakariko. I'm gonna get the egg that starts the Bigron sword trading sequence.
Someone's asking why you have half a heart, if that's important.
Yeah, I'll explain that in 1 second right after I get the egg. Basically, I need to die in order to... Well, it's kind of complicated, but when I die, it does something else to the B button. And that's going to set something up for later. So here's my egg. I don't need to use the egg, but I do need to use the item that I get from it. So I'll get the chicken from it. Anyway, I'm going to backflip into the well right now. Link's gonna die from the fall damage, and that's why I needed to be at half a heart. And by doing that, it manipulates something with the B button, and it's a little bit confusing. But basically, now when I go back to Lon Lon Ranch, I can set the value of my B button to 0. Because right now it's 255, which is blank. Although I have to avoid touching this water. I can touch it, but I can't swim in it, because that would dim the B button, which would cause the value to change. Not the value of the item itself, but it would cause the glitch I'm going to be attempting not to work. Okay, so I have to make it to Lon Lon Ranch before it turns night. Luckily, this is not very well known, but once you get into places with gray skies, like right now, time passes slower in the game. So that actually buys me more time to get over here. Alright, so I'm gonna go talk to this guy again. And it's gonna change the value of my B button from 255 to 0. And then I'm gonna leave. And of course, the first item in the game is a Deku stick, and that's item 0. So that's how that works. So right now you can hear it, the air noise from pressing the button. It's a working stick. On N64 it crashes the game if you actually have Deku sticks, which is why I want 0. But I'm actually playing a virtual console, so even if I did have a stick, I'd still be able to use it. It's just, I don't know, it crashes the game on the N64. But this will work on N64 as long as you made sure you have 0 sticks when you do this. Anyway, I'm going to head over to this part of Hyrule Field now, which isn't often seen either. And that's because I have time to kill. I'm waiting for it to turn day, so the egg hatches. And in that meantime, I can go over here and roll into these trees. And some of these trees, here we go, they have a chance at dropping Deku Nuts, and I need Deku Nuts for later, for another glitch. So I can effectively spend 0 time collecting that, because I'm still waiting for day. So now I'm heading back to Kakariko, where my egg is gonna hatch. Alright, so I made it here a little bit early. I gotta just chill. In the meantime, let me set up my menu, I guess. So I'll do, let's see, egg. I want my bombs here, and the egg here. Yes, okay. I need to be really cautious, because if I accidentally equip over the bombs, I'll never get them back. Because I don't actually have bombs in my inventory, so if I ever put an item on top of them, then I'm screwed.
Is that like completely run over then?
Yeah.
Alright.
There's actually a lot of ways to screw up this run. Okay, so I'm about to do a lot of complicated stuff. I'll explain it as I go along. So right now I'm getting bugs in my bottle, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate over the B button, and then I'm going to switch my bugs with the bombs. So the bomb's on C right, I'm gonna catch bugs. What I just did now was I made it so the game will give me bomb drops from grass. That's what that did. Basically, what's happening is I'm writing values into my inventory by catching items on my B button bottle, and that's based off of whatever item I have on C right. So that's kind of confusing. Also, I have to drop these bugs now, and then... Okay, I'm gonna need to let these bugs go for a little bit, and then switch the chicken here, and then drop these bugs. And then switch the bottle with the chicken, catch bugs, and then show the chicken. And what that just did is that just gave me an extra bottle, and it also gave me the adult's wallet, and it gave me the golden scale. So that's just what I accomplished right there. Alright, so now switch the bottle with the chicken, so you can see the extra bottle right there. I'm gonna drop the bugs one more time.
The
And
chair is
now
going crazy over these things.
I'm gonna swing the bottle, I'm gonna equip the sword and duplicate over the sword. That'll undo the glitch where I never set the sword, and by catching the bugs with the blue chicken on C right, that gave me a bomb bag and a quiver. And so with all that accomplished, I can go collect some items now from the graveyard. I'll need those items for later. So in here, there's always a Hylian shield, unless of course you already have one, in which case it'll be a blue rupee. I do need a shield, that'll be important. So this is a good spot to get it. Plus I have to go to the graveyard anyway. Yes, it is effectively hacking memory with bottles. Alright, so get this Poe to see me. He can hit me while I'm pulling the grave, which cancels the animation and gets me in the grave faster. Alright, so I'm going to equip the shield now. I'm going to do that so I can shield drop these pots. I cannot slash the pots because I do not have a sword. Alright, and as you can see, I have 5 bombs, so that means I successfully not only was able to get a bomb to spawn from the pot, even though I never properly collected a bomb bag, but I'm able to hold the bombs as well. Basically, because I had a bomb item on my C button when I became adult, I was able to duplicate a bottle over the button, or over the item slot in my inventory, and the game simply checks to see if there's any item in that slot, and if there is, it lets bushes and pots drop bombs. So that's what that did. Unfortunately, I still couldn't hold the bombs, but with the blue chicken, and catching bugs, that actually gave me a bomb bag and a quiver as well, although I won't be using the quiver. So I can actually hold the bombs. In fact, it gave me the 40 bomb bag, the biggest bomb bag, and that'll be nice to have. 50-second Dompe, not too good, but that's okay. So this is where you get the hook shot. Alright, so I'm going to be collecting some more bombs. I'll need a lot more. It'd be a good idea for me to get... I think I'm going to grab 20, so... Oops. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I never reloaded the area properly, the bomb didn't spawn there. But if I re-enter the grave, it'll be back. So I have to do this 3 more times. I don't have to race Dompe anymore, just collect the bomb and leave. Alright, one more bomb. It'll give me a nice 20, which should be good enough to cover all my needs. here. When you glitch this game out, you tend to need lots of bombs. Some of those are used for movement, as you'll see in a minute. Alright, so... What?
Big thanks to Twitch to putting us on the front page.
Oh, that's really cool. So... my next goal is to continue along the Big Round Sword trading sequence, which means trading the chicken for a mushroom, which is in the Lost Woods. So that's where I'm headed now. And of course, Hyrule Field's rather big, so we're gonna... Oops. Let's see here. Alright. Alright, so this is called a super slide. Many of you may have seen it before. It's a trick where you're invincible because you rolled, and you tried to grab something, which was the bomb, and then you shielded something at the same time. So all three of those things happened at the same time, and that made it so you get to slide backwards really fast. Alright, I'm going to attempt this trick here, but my health is a little bit low, so... Alright, good. That gets me over here a little bit faster. Alright, so this is who you give the chicken to get the mushroom. I don't directly need the mushroom, but I do need the items after the mushroom, so I need to go through a bit more of the trading sequence. What I really want is the Poacher's Saw and the Broken Goron Sword. And the reason I want these items is because of the bottle glitch that I was doing earlier. It's called Reverse Bottle Adventure. It's a confusing glitch, but basically what happens is when you're catching bugs in your bottle, it needs to know where in the inventory to put it, right? But because it's in your B button, it does something completely silly and puts it in entirely the wrong spot. Oh, this little guy's running away from me. I also need to get the Goron tunic, so that's what I'll be trying to do now. Anyway, as I was saying, it tries to like write the value of the bugs in my inventory, and that can be in a weird place in my inventory, like, for example, like what songs I have. Oh man. I'm very scared to do the suicide strat because I only have a quarter heart, so I'm having a little trouble here. Okay, good. Anyway, the reason I need the Goron tunic is because the Fire Temple, I have to complete it, as I said earlier, and I have to do that on 3 hearts. So the heat timer is simply too low to survive. Because the heat timer is based off of how many hearts you have as you enter the rooms that are timed. And each full heart gives you 8 seconds, and, you know, that's not that much time. Especially not enough for a boss fight. Alright, so he's gonna give me the Goron tunic now. I don't want to die, even though it wouldn't be critical to die here. It would still be kind of annoying because when you die with a weird item on your B button, it like reverts to a stick. And if my item turned back into a stick, I'd have to duplicate over it again, and that would kind of waste a bunch of time. So I want to make sure that I stay alive. Alright, so this rock is really nice. It always has 3 hearts, or 3 rupees if you have max hearts. So that's what I use to heal right there. Alright, so I need to deliver the mushroom. As you see, I'm still delivering it. There's still the timer. The timer's paused while you're talking to the Goron, so that's how I had enough time to do that. Although I had to chase him down, which did waste some time. That was a little bit slow. Alright, so this is where I trade the mushroom, and I get the odd potion. I don't need the potion again, I need the poacher's saw and the broken Goron sword. So I'm gonna pull out the mushroom right here, which does nothing, and then I'm gonna trade it. And the reason I do that is because when you enter this area, there's the text that appears on screen that says like potion shop, and until that text clears, you can't actually successfully trade the item. So if you pull it out right away, it clears the text, and that's faster than if you would have just waited for the text to go away. Alright. One more trip to the Lost Woods, because that's where the saw is. Alright. Super sliding. This is a good angle. Got me all the way to this tree. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. The way this works is like you press forward and he tries to jump. Like, normally you can't jump in a Zelda game, but right there, like, there's that little ledge, and if you press forward right there, it makes him jump. Even though it's, like, not a proper ledge, it still works. Alright, so I'm trading the potion now. So here's the saw. This item, it points to certain songs when I try to catch bugs. So, I'm gonna catch the bugs, and that's gonna give me the Prelude of Light, Zelda's Lullaby, Serenade of Water, and the Nocturne of Shadow. So now, I'm gonna play my hook shot. So that's another thing I can do. If you have bottled bugs in Link's hand, and then you backflip and press the bottled bug, and then you press a certain item, like the hook shot, he'll play it like an ocarina. So, as I don't actually have a real ocarina, that's what I have to use to play songs. Anyway, the reason I came back here was because it's a little bit faster to go to Gerudo's Valley from here. And that's where I need to go next to get the broken Goron sword. Of course, I do have to get across Gerudo's Valley without Epona. That was slow. There we go. Now, usually having the hover boots would be useful here, because hover boots let you do some silly tricks where you get to conserve your momentum and then get across like large gaps. But I do not have them. But there is another way across. The other way is using a mega flip, which is very similar to super sliding, which is what I just did, but instead of grabbing an object, I'm simply backflipping, shielding while invincible. And that gives me the same speed as a super slide, but it's in the form of a backflip. And that just barely has the distance needed to clear the bridge. Unfortunately, it's so precise that I have to use a silly setup in order to actually ensure that I'm in the right position. So, while I was talking about earlier about the metagame with these like setups, here's one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, grab the ledge, climb up, target, roll, 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 side up, side up, side up, side up, roll, side up, side up, side up, side up, roll, side up, roll, roll, side up, backflip, backflip, instant shield drop, roll, backflip. And now I'm waiting for the big blue frame of the bomb. And I'm pausing to make sure it's exactly on the right frame. Should be in 3 more frames. 1, 2, next frame. There it is. So I roll on this frame, and then on the next frame, I have to hit back. There it is. I hit back now. One more frame. There it is. Okay, now I backflip. Alright. So as you can see, I barely made that gap. It's ridiculously precise. Alright, so when I drop the bugs now and catch them, it's going to give me some medallions. Boom! I just got 4 medallions. Unfortunately, it deleted my light medallion. So I'm gonna have to get that back. Getting the light medallion back wasn't possible until recently with some new stuff that was found. But before I can go on my journey to get the light medallion back, I need to set some stuff up for the fire temple. Yes, we're at 4 out of 6 right now. We have the forest medallion, the water medallion, the shadow medallion, and the spirit medallion. In fact, why don't I show you? You can see my medallions here along with the songs. Let's see, 3 bombs. That should be exactly the right amount. I need all 3 of those. So yeah, we're missing fire and light. And I already collected light, but I deleted it. Okay, the reason the medallion actually gets deleted, I guess I'll explain this a little bit more in detail. Basically, there's memory addresses which keep track of what items you have. And there's also memory addresses for inventory items such as bugs and fish. And what I did was I overwrote the byte that keeps track of my medallions with the value of a bug. And bug in decimal is 29, and if you break that down into binary, you get a number of 1s and 0s. Oh my god, I can't get up here. This ledge likes to troll people really bad. I can't get up! Anyway. Okay, Jesus. Anyway, it just so happens that it zeroed out the light medallion, but it had 1s on the forest, water, spirit, and shadow medallions. So what am I doing now? I'm going up to get magic. I need magic in order to use Furor's Wind, which I'll be using later on. Don't. Okay. Okay. Alright, again, I need to play my hook shot here. Because I need to play Zelda's Lullaby. I never learned Zelda's Lullaby, but I did write it into my inventory using the bugs. There we go. So, here's the fairy, getting magic. I'll need this for later. And there's a couple more things that I need to do here. You notice I have one bomb left. I need to use that bomb to blow up a certain rock in Death Mountain Crater. Under that rock is a grotto, and inside the grotto is a fish and a chest. The chest has 20 bombs in it, which is really useful because I'm like out of bombs now. But also, I need the fish as well. I don't just need bugs, I need a lot of critters. Alright. So, here's the boulder. This is also a good time to equip the Goron Tunic. And this bottle. I'll catch the fish now. If I can catch it. And 20 bombs. Okay. Now there's one more thing I have to do here. In order to make it so I can get back here quicker later for the fire temple, I'm gonna have to go down here and learn the song, the Blaro Fire. So there's a mega side hop, very similar to a mega flip. Alright, also I need to damage myself, so I'll be doing that. And I'm gonna be using the sword, the broken sword, to take multiple hits from the same bomb, like this. That just speeds that up a little bit. Alright, now I'm equipping the hook shot, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to die on the same frame that I entered the cutscene where I learned the Blaro Fire. So as this bomb hits me, it's going to kill me and push me back into the cutscene. That'll teach me the song instantly, and I won't have to watch the cutscene, so that actually saves a little bit of time. Okay, now, this part is a little confusing. I need to make sure I do it right. So what I'm going to do is drop my fish now. I'm going to catch the fish. Now it's in Link's hand. I'm going to try to play my Deku Stick, which will dupe over it because I don't have any. That's going to write a bottle over my B button, which also sees that I have the fish, which wrote 20 Deku Nuts. Now I'm going to throw 7 Deku Nuts. Okay, and now I'm going to drop another fish. Okay, I'm going to catch this fish. And now I'm going to backflip, and I'm going to play my bomb, and we're heading back to the Temple of Time. Now, what did that do? Well, this is where it gets interesting. Yes, if I threw 1 extra Deku Nut, that would have been a horrible mistake. Okay, okay, so here we go. What just happened, and why am I talking to Sheik? Well, here's what happened. Okay, I went back to the Temple of Time. The game saw that I had the Shadow Medallion and the Spirit Medallion. And those are the only 2 medallions the game checks for in order to see if you've completed all the dungeons. And the reason it does that is because in order to get the Shadow Medallion, they figured that you must have beaten the Forest, Fire, and Water temples, because that's the only way to get the Nocturne of Shadow. And the Nocturne of Shadow is supposed to be the only way to get into the Shadow Temple. Well, it's not. You can just get into the Shadow Temple through other means. But I don't even need to go into the Shadow Temple because I'm directly writing the medallions into my inventory. So as I enter the Temple of Time, it checks, it sees that I have those 2 medallions, and it triggers Zelda. Well, Sheik and Zelda, you know, spoilers. But anyway, it triggers the light arrow cutscene. Now, the light arrows are not what I'm after here. What I'm after is a cutscene. During this cutscene, there's another cutscene that plays that shows a flashback, okay? The flashback shows Child Link, and it shows Zelda escaping. And the way cutscenes work in this game is it actually, like, changes Link into a child. It's not, like, pre-rendered. So it actually shows Child Link, which means it actually puts Link in a child state and then back into adult state. And what happens when you go through time in this game is that if you have a B button bottle instead of a sword, things start to get really crazy when you go through time. So what happens is it's going to go back in time, show child Link, and it also sees that I have a bottle on my B button as adult, okay? So that's going to trigger a glitch called Bottle Adventure, which is going to write an item onto my B button. Now, how does it determine what item to write there? Well, what it does is it looks at child Link C right. So remember that bottle I put on C right at the beginning of the run? Well, that bottle is being looked at during the cutscene where I become child Link, and it uses that as the determining factor for what item to put on adult Link, because his B button item's a bottle. It's not supposed to be. So it goes and checks C right, and it sees that I have the bottle there. But actually, it's not just a bottle, it's the fish. So it sees that I have the fish there, and that fish points to the number of Deku Nuts that I have. And because I have exactly 13 Deku Nuts, it writes the value 13 onto my B button. So here's the cutscene with child Link. So it's going to write the value 13, and the value 13 happens to be Furor's Wind, which is the warp song that you can use in dungeons. Alright? So it's going to give me, instead of a sword, it's going to give me that spell on my B button. So why would I want it there? Well, the reason I want it on my B button is because you can use your sword outside of dungeons. So because it's on your B button, so I can use Furor's Wind outside of dungeons, which was never supposed to be used outside of dungeons. And the reason I want to use Furor's Wind outside of dungeons is so I can do some even more crazy glitches later. So right now we're just gonna sit here and wait till this cutscene finishes. And in the process I also collect the light arrows, but I'm not interested in those.
Kind of interesting how when people started finding this way of finishing the game, they were so excited to not need light arrows anymore, and then you end up watching light arrows anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, like the only other way to become Child Link is to actually beat the Forest Temple and put the Master Sword back. And you cannot do that until you actually beat the Forest Temple. You don't just need the medallion, you have to beat the temple. So that ends up being slower than watching this cutscene. So that's why I don't go into the Forest Temple. Someone asks, are you able to get into the castle without all the medallions? The Rainbow Bridge is triggered by 3 things. It's triggered by having the light arrows, and also by having the Shadow and Spirit medallions. So if those requirements are met, then yes, you can summon the Rainbow Bridge to get into Ganon's castle. But you don't even need to summon the Rainbow Bridge, because you can use bombs to get in. Yeah, there's like so many ways to break this game. Anyway, if you notice my B button right now, you can see that I have the green warp spell, Furor's Wind, on B, and I can use it like right now if I wanted to, but this is not where I want to use it. I want to go to Lon Lon Ranch. Alright, so I'm going to leave Lon Lon Ranch, and I'm going to cast Furor's Wind right here. Whoa. Okay, so what's going to happen now? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the horse riding thing once again. And I'm going to pay to ride the horses. And now we're in this sort of mini game where I can ride the horses, but I'm just going to warp right out of here. So the game still thinks I'm in the horse riding game right now. You can see there's a timer and everything. Also, my C buttons are disabled, including bombs and everything. So I can't use any items except my B button. But it's important though, because I can use the B button even when I'm not supposed to be able to. And what I need to do right now is head to a certain house in Kokiri Forest. So that's where I'm going right now. Okay. So over here is the House of Twins. This house, it has nothing in it really. It's just got like a pot with a blue rupee and a pot with a green rupee. But I need to go here for other reasons. I'm casting the spell here to warp back here later, and I'm casting it there for like a really specific reason. The reason is that that house has a certain location in the game's like entrance table. Like, okay, so basically every location you can enter a new okay, every place in the game has like different entrances. For example, I'm about to go through the Lost Woods right here, and like right where it puts me right here at the beginning of the Lost Woods, that's counted as an entrance, okay? So the list of all those entrances in the game, like there's a huge table, alright? And all the entrances are in a certain order on that table. And it just so happens that the House of Twins is exactly in the right spot in the game's like memory or whatever, like in like the big list. So yeah, anyway, I'm leaving the Lost Woods right now. If you noticed, I used the golden scale that I put into my inventory by dropping bugs while I had the pocket cocoa on C right. So that turned out to be useful, because I could actually leave the Lost Woods. I don't have a sword or anything. I can't use a sword. In fact, all my buttons are disabled now because I entered water. So now I can't do anything except use the A button and the stick and the shield, and that's it. So everything's disabled at the moment. Now, so where am I going? I'm going, yeah, back to Lon Lon Ranch once again. And the reason I'm going back to Lon Lon Ranch is because that's where the actual horse riding game took place. So it's the only place where I can like undo this glitch where all my buttons are screwed over. And the whole point of going and doing that was to be able to cast inside of the House of Twins. Because normally, if you go inside of the House of Twins, your sword is disabled because it's inside of a house. So even though I have Frore's Wind on a B button, I still can't use it inside of that house unless I glitch out of the horse riding game, which I did. So now when I enter, I can use my items again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a fish, and I'm going to equip the hook shot. So right here, you can see that I got the Blare of Fire when I died in that cutscene, and I'm playing it right now. This will take me to the entrance to the Fire Temple. As I said earlier, I need to beat the Fire Temple to get its medallion, so that's what we're going to go do right now. Alright. Hello, Darunia. How are you today?
Yeah, what Golden is saying is if you want to see Cosmo's controller cam for Castlevania 64, there's a donation incentive for it.
Yep, just a reminder, guys, you can leave a comment on the chip-in page when you donate. So when you donate, you'll be brought to a PayPal screen. You'll do your paying there, and then you'll be redirected to a chip-in page, and that's where you leave your comment for what you want to donate towards. As far as other runs that Cosmo's doing later, he's going to do Castlevania 64 for us, and if we get $200 in donations, he's going to do a hand cam, and every $100 over that we get is one nail painted purple. So, you know, he likes to paint the nails there. We're going to get $100 per finger to be painted purple. So, get those donations in, and thanks for watching, guys.
$100 per finger was something you invented.
That's something I invented?
Yes.
I invented it. I don't know.
It's $1,000 for the whole thing, and Fiesel said that's $100 per
Oops.
finger.
Oh, all right. That's Fiesel's invention. I didn't even invent it. There you go.
I'm gonna play a little bit safe here and end up getting a fairy, because if I die with Fro's Wind on B, it turns back into a stick, and because I've already watched that cutscene where I get the light arrows, I would be completely screwed over. There would be nothing I can do. So I need to make sure that I don't die here.
Yeah, we want to see the end.
Yeah, it'd be a really, really sad thing if I died in the fire temple. Alright, so I'm just making my way up now. I have to go through the entire fire temple without a sword, and in fact, if you've been watching, you'll notice that I've never swung my sword the entire run, and I never will. So this is a run where I never use my sword ever, and I obtain all the medallions and beat the game. So keep watching to see how that's accomplished. I'll have to be damaging myself intentionally coming up in a few rooms, because what I want to do is skip the boulder maze. The boulder maze requires a bunch of keys, and I don't want to use those keys, and also it takes a while to get through it. But there's a shortcut I can do to get past the boulder maze, which I'll try to do. But it does involve damaging myself, so that's another reason I want a fairy. Also, Volvagia can do 2 hearts of damage. I think the Fire Breath actually does 3, and the boulders that fall do 2, so it's pretty intense if I'm not careful. Alright. So this is the room where it happens. So that cage has a Goron inside. You're supposed to go up through here and then get to the top of this room, and then go into the boulder maze, and then do the first floor of the boulder maze and get up to the second floor, and it uses a bunch of keys and stuff. But this block happens to be very useful. What I need to do is get the right angle, and unfortunately I don't have a setup for this other than shooting the very left edge of the crystal switch. So if I shoot it at the very left edge, I need to be absolutely perfect here. Okay, hopefully this is the right angle. So now I hit forward and put a bomb down, and then if I press against the wall, okay, yeah. Because the bomb was in exactly the right position compared to Link, it pushed me at exactly the right angle, and that angle happened to be just enough speed to... Whoops, whoa there. That was almost a mistake. That happens to be just the right amount of speed to push me through the block, through the wall, and get me past over to where I can save the Goron and get the key. And this takes me up to the top of the boulder maze. If you notice, like, the ceiling here, it's covered because I never came down here normally. And then I can just go through here. And usually you want 2 keys here in a casual playthrough, but the only reason you need one of the keys is to get past the walls of fire. You're supposed to go around, but you can go right through the walls of fire. You don't need to go around using some tricks. There's even a glitchless way to get past the firewalls here, simply by side hopping, but I'm probably just going to do a super slide past it, because they're based on proximity, and I have enough speed to get past before the fire rises up. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. If you ever watch the Sunday sequence break, this is the Ocarina of Time clip. Right there. Alright, so that door takes me to the Flare Dancer. And I do want some bombs, so even though I have a lot of bombs, it's nice to always have more just in case. Okay, so I don't have a sword, so I have to resort to my hook shot here. Oh no, he's getting away. Alright. I'm just gonna let him go. Okay. Alright, he's dead. Climb up that during the cutscene. So like it. Oh, whoa! That's never happened before. Not a big deal, but that's funny. I always wondered if it was possible to get crushed there. I guess it's finally been answered. Anyway, that was silly, but it didn't really waste much time. Alright, climb up here. And up here is where I get the hammer. I need the hammer to defeat the boss of this dungeon. Yeah, it's funny because like I've done many runs of the Fire Temple and I've always wondered like, is it possible to be too close to the ceiling there? Apparently you can. Alright, I'm actually glad I have a fairy now because I'm lower on hearts. This guy might drop a heart though. I'll see if it dropped a heart. There's my hammer. Nope. Anyway, let's go down here. So now I need to go fight the boss now that I have the hammer. And I can take a little shortcut right here if I don't screw up. I would really like to not screw this up. This is another very picky angle. Okay. Okay. And hammer. It's hammer time. So, the whole Fire Temple's loaded at once. Only one room's textures and actors are loaded, but the entire dungeon collision itself is loaded, and that includes the loading zone for the boss. So, by falling down there, I land directly behind the boss door, and that has the loading zone, which takes me to the boss room. Alright, boss time. There's a new trick that was discovered recently in this fight. I'll try to show it off, but I might get unlucky. But basically, there's two Volvages. There's one that flies and the one that goes in the holes. And it just so happens that the flying one can be damaged by bombs as the other one is still there. So I'm damaging the boss right now by putting these bombs in this hole. Oh, I missed that one. There we go. I'm gonna get hit. Oh man, run away. Okay, I think it's gonna fly now. Yep. Alright, we're gonna chill here for a little bit. In case you didn't know, you can climb on the edge of the arena. Some people don't know that. Okay, the rest of the fight should be pretty normal. Unfortunately, I think it will take one more cycle. Yeah, one more. Just gotta chill, hide from the boulders. The most interesting part of this fight, besides dropping bombs in the holes to damage the boss, is also gonna happen after I kill the boss. So this hit should kill. Yep. So if you've played this game before, you might see something a little out of the ordinary after this cutscene. Where am I? Where'd I go? Oh, hello Ganondorf, how are you today? So, what just happened? What happened was, the game wanted to send me to Kakariko Village during the cutscene where Death Mountain erupts and like clears, basically. Right? That eruption cutscene. So it sends me... The way the game works is it tries to send me to Kakariko, and then it says, okay, send him to the cutscene in Kakariko. So add a certain number of entrance values. So that's like four or five entrance values or whatever to get to the proper cutscene for Kakariko. But instead, what I did was I warped to the House of Twins right as it was taking me up. So I combined the two, and what that did was it said, all right, send him to House of Twins, and then add 4 or 5 entrance values for the cutscene. But there is no cutscene in the House of Twins. So where did it send me? Well, it sent me back into the Light Medallion cutscene. So now I'm getting my Light Medallion back. So, here we are. Wearing the red tunic, which, if you've ever played this game before, this cutscene would be impossible normally, because you can't have the tunic yet. So this is how I obtained the Light Medallion once more. And because I beat the Fire Temple, it also gave me the Fire Medallion. So if you've been keeping count, I collected the Light Medallion, I deleted the Light Medallion, and then I caught a bug, and it wrote the binary for the bug over my medallions, which was giving me the Water Medallion, the Forest Medallion, the Spirit Medallion, and the Shadow Medallion. Then I went and I beat the Fire Temple, which gave me the Fire Medallion. And as I was beating the Fire Temple, I warped to the House of Twins, and that warped me here instead. And now I'm collecting the Light Medallion once more, and that completes my set of medallions. Of course, the run's not over yet. I still need to go complete the game, so we still got that to do. So I don't have to watch this cutscene because I've already seen it, and my warp point is still here because it never properly got me here. So we're over here now. Alright. So now I need to head to Goron City. And what I need to do is enter Goron City from the top. So, this entrance. Not the Lost Woods one, but the one at the top here. This is where I cast my next spell. Alright, we're going down here.
That's what they want to show your full medallion.
Oh yeah, I can do that. So here we go. A completed set. We got them all. And now we must go fight the final boss. I think this run will be under 120, which is... I'm satisfied with that. Oh, here we go. So you might be asking, why am I in Dodongo's Cavern? Well, the final boss, it might not be who you think it is. I am at a half heart. I am happy I have a fairy right now. Alright. There's the bomb bag chest, by the way. I will not be opening it, as I already have a bomb bag, but the thought is appreciated.
Just want to remind people too quick, we're running out of time here for you to donate to win the Ocarina of Time cartridge. So if you want to be entered for that drawing, remember it's a $3 minimum donation, and yeah, it will your time will run out for that as soon as this run is done, so get your donations in.
Alright, I need to catch my friends the bugs. I will be using them one last time. Good old bugs. They like to hold down the switch for me. Alright. Alright, let's go. Let's go. The final boss has shown himself at last.
That's timer, right?
A couple seconds after I enter the portal, I have to do something first. I have to... Well, yeah. Pretty much after I enter the portal.
Alright.
So the real story of this game is you have to slay the dinosaur with your big hammer. That's the true ending. Secret ending, guys. Y'all ready for the secret ending? Good work. We did it. We have saved Hyrule once more.
Good job. Good run.
Good run.
You got 118.05.
Nice
Cool.
time.
Sub 120 is cool. Couple rough spots, but I think I did it justice.
Chat is going ballistic.
Good program, guys.
Special thanks to the Nintendo debug team.
Well, that's Ocarina of Time. Alright, I get the feeling that we have a lot of donations here, so let's go ahead and read these while the credits roll.
Yeah. But Cosmo, thank you for coming on the show. It was really cool. Good run.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll see you again for Castlevania 64 later in the...
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of training before my run. That game is hard as hell.
Up next, we got Yoshi's
Up
Island.
next, Yoshi's Island, 100% race.
It's gonna be a race, yep.
Carl Sagan and C-Wing.